There, YouTube. Just having a quick look at this Lazerbrite tactical flashlight. Now, as you might have guessed from my other videos, I've got a bit of a fetish about illumination, torches, anything that's going to give me some light. I've got a bit of a fascination with it. I've got a lot of lights. Started to branch out into these sort of more lantern style orientated bits of lighting. This one here is a particularly interesting one. This is called a Lazerbrite tactical flashlight. I think the thing I like about this is it's actually very, very modular. Modular is always a good thing. You can play around with stuff and change it. It also means if something breaks, you can do a replacement. Now, these are made in the USA, and they're really a replacement for a chemical, disposable chem light, basically, like the light sticks you get. So how it works is you've got basically a translucent plastic. This is just a plastic tube in here. It comes off. He's given it away already. So that just comes off. And then these two here are, stay still, are basically light modules. And you can screw these on into any configuration. You can use them as they are, just as a light. Probably the only downside with this is that the LEDs are exposed to the outside world. Just a standard, I think it's like a 5mm LED. It's not like a big Cree emitter or anything like that, so it's not going to give you staggeringly bright amounts of light. But so each of these little heads here, these are called, they do a couple of different versions. This is called a multi-lux head, which essentially it just means it's got more than one light output. So twisting it gives you 3 settings. Flashing, which is a SOS, a low, and a high. So like this, it's more sort of an area light. It's got a little bit of a, you won't be able to see that, it's kind of a little bit of a hot spot. Not by a hell of a lot. So the idea with this is you can screw this on here, and this will illuminate some of this, but also give you more of a spot. Now, essentially, for me, someone that's got lots and lots and lots of torches and is really into his LED flashlights and head torches, things like this, it's not the most usable of light. It kind of, in some ways, reminds me of the cheap sort of Chinese LED torches that are advertised on eBay and stuff. It's putting out millions of lumens, and then you get this kind of like pathetic beam shot. I mean, get by in a pinch, but realistically, this is more to do about this tube than anything else, because it gives you obviously the ability to have a marker. It's a low, you won't be able to make that out. As far as I'm aware, I haven't been able to detect any pulse width modulation, so PEMW, which I'm actually quite sensitive to. I've kind of got rid of a lot of my torches that have it because it does annoy me. It gives us, basically all it is, the LED switches on and off very, very quickly. Oh, actually you can see on the video, see the pulsing. So it does have pulse width modulation, but it must be a very high frequency because I can't physically detect it. So you can see, you'll see these little lines coming through. That's the camera basically detecting the LED switching on and off rapidly, and it's detected by the chip in the camera. So on low, this is what usually happens. Pulse width modulation is used to dim LEDs, and essentially what it is it's turning the light on and off really, really quickly. Now eyes can't see that. Generally can't see that if it's the right frequency, and it gives the illusion that it's actually dimmer, but it's just rapidly cycling on and off. So that's the low setting. And then high, doesn't look like there's none on there. Now, probably the hardest thing with this is with a camera on, with a phone camera or any real camera, you're never going to get an understanding of how bright this is and what sort of light you can put out with it. I got this primarily, I was going to throw it in the car as a sort of a breakdown light. My wife does a lot of trips away. She's away for work a lot, so it would be good to have something in the car that she can throw out. And also the other thing is, if you ever come to an accident, you can actually, take these off and say, here, to some guy on the side of the road, here's a light, you can do whatever with that. So the other beauty with this is obviously it's double-ended, which means you can they do a whole different type of lights, colors. So obviously this is a red one, then there's an amber, there's a green, orange. So it gives you some versatility. You can obviously have different colors at either end. You have a white one and a red one. I thought obviously red would be quite good for marking, and obviously white for light. So yeah, you can chop and change. There's a whole lot of accessories. They do a piece that slides over here that creates like an iris that can open and close. You can also get a dome so when you take this off, you can put a dome on the end of it. So it's like a little short dome here that gives you kind of an area light as well. Ooh. So it's very sort of specs wise, in this configuration it's 130 grams, so it's not the lightest thing about. It's basically all made of high impact plastics, probably ABS or something like that, I would think, judging by the feel of it. It is waterproof to 50 meters, so that's reasonably alright. Throw it in the pond, it's not going to get wet. Runtime wise, they say 300 hours. Now they're quite crafty about this because I'm not sure it's regulated, so you're going to get diminishing returns. It's a little like comparing to things like the Petzl E-Lite and things like that run on small batteries. These run on basically small watch batteries, CR2032s, which they're all coin cell batteries. They just go underneath this little flap here, the unscrew. So chances are, what I can see and how much use it, I haven't managed to go through a whole set of batteries, but I think you'd find it's not regulated, so that it will diminish its output over time. So that's something to think about as well. And obviously the CR123s going to be, easy to carry around, but they're going to be a little pain to get in and out in here. As a torch, as a marker, it's very, very good because it's nice and bright for that. But obviously it's 360, so it does limit itself a little bit for being a lantern, which is the other sort of reason why I looked at this. It's having a cool lantern that we can hang up, does different colours and stuff. It's fairly robust. It's pretty bomb-proof. So the thing with that light on. Ooh. The other thing is there's no mode memory. It just cycles through switch rise. It is quite 360, so yeah, it's not too bad. You can hang it up. It's not going to give you massive amounts of light to see by it. It's more, we've used it as kind of, the odd couple of times we've been out with it is as just like, I suppose you call it mood lighting, just to give you a general sort of a moonlight effect through the campsite. And also, obviously you can just leave it up all night then. It's not a big deal. So yeah, interesting. Obviously, I wouldn't suggest this being the only light you take anywhere. It's not going to be that useful, but as a sort of a backup, throw it in the car, emergency kit. Yeah, bearing in mind it's designed to be a replacement to a chemical light stick. It's obviously got a bit of runtime, a bit more environmentally friendly, but it can replace the batteries. But yeah, an interesting torch. Would I buy another one? It hasn't got a huge amount of uses. This is the thing, pick up, it's modular, you can do lots of things with it. Yes, you can. But if you've already got a flashlight or a good quality LED headlamp or good quality LED handheld, chances are this is going to be less useful to you. It also sort of has an air of, how can I be nice about it? It's not super refined. It's probably the easiest way to say it. It's not, build quality's, solid, but it's just a simple system. There's nothing sort of super flash about it. It's a plastic tube with two reasonably okay LEDs run on watch batteries, essentially. It's not earth-shatteringly fantastic. Yeah, the winning thing with it is being modular. You can take these pieces on and off, and I suppose that are going to be useful to some people. So yeah, so Lazerbrite. So yeah, bearing in mind it's reasonably basically a replacement for a chemical light stick and not a torch. Right, so I hope that's been useful. Put comments in the comments box. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.